Alright, the Death card. So, this is the card that everybody's afraid of. Um, Usually if you give a reading to somebody for the first time, a lot of times, or not the first time, but, they'll say that they've had readings in the past, and they'll say, oh, I always get the Death card. And then lo and behold, they get the Death card, and they freak out. And it doesn't actually have to do with a physical death. It's not actually talking about somebody dying. It has to do with a death of a perspective, the death of an identity, the death of an old way of seeing things, and the birth of something something new and much better. There's the sun in the background here on the new horizon, and this has to do with really just letting go of the old way of an old way of being, like when you kind of have a perspective shift and suddenly need to embody a new life. That's sort of like a symbolic death. The old you is gone and there's a new you being reborn. So on the deeper level of this spiritual journey, the progress through the tarot cards, death has to do with that transformation. And that is the main keyword I think that I would associate with this card, whether you pull it in a reading or if you're trying to understand more about your own spiritual kind of journey. It's transformation is the main keyword here. But previously with the last card we talked about the Hanged Man of having this new perspective and not knowing which direction to be able to go in. So a new perspective is needed on top of that, and so that's where the death comes in. It's the death of the old way of being, the old way of viewing the world. The things that you used to value, you no longer value anymore, and there's just this new you, basically. It's a rebirth. So, there's some more deeper symbolism on here. One's a little piece that I think is interesting is the fact that there's 3 people here in the presence of death. I don't know if you can see that very well on the camera, but there's 3 people here. Well, 4 really. There's one dead person. Then there's Death himself. And then there's this priest. And then there's a woman, an adult. And then there's a child. And the priest is praying is honoring death. The child is looking with curiosity and with an innocent curiosity, but the adult is the one who's grieving and looking away. So it's it's basically saying you have to either be a child or a priest in order to understand and accept death. So that's kind of another layer of symbolism that I noticed one day that I thought might be kind of useful here. So that's basically it as far as a general overview of this card. So let's move on to the next one. In the next video, we're going to talk about number 14, which is Temperance. So I'll see you there.